can be very, very quick. So this is the GROW model. So this was taken from sport. And again, it's another acronym. It's just like a little model you can hold in your head to think, okay, this person's come to me with a problem or something they want to achieve. I want them to get their own answer, because we all know they've got their own answer. If they've got the problem, they've also got the answer. It's when you can't verbalise it, that's the issues that you should really worry about. The things that you don't know you've got. So if someone comes to you and says, oh, I need to sort out my time management, you know that they know about time management, and I bet they do it perfectly somewhere else in their life. I bet they get their kids off to school, I bet they get it nailed. So somewhere else in their life, they're probably amazing at it. Just not at work or in the context. To run the London Marathon, I'd like to sell that £1 million worth of windows so I get my watch. So where are you now? I'm at £500,000. That's kind of the reality. So this is where the magic happens, the options. I like to get ×3, you can get as many as you like. So back to the time management. You said, you don't get a good night's sleep, you say you're rushing about, you're not organised, you just haven't got the right apps. So give me 3 options. What 3 things can you do that will make the biggest difference for you? If we were just to concentrate on 3. Wow, if I didn't drink, if I didn't eat half a bag of peanut M&Ms at night, I'd get a better night's sleep. I think if I just sorted out my sleep, the whole thing would be much better. Okay? So that they're already saying, talking to themselves, basically giving themselves their own advice, which is a world away from you going, well, actually, what I think you need to do is get yourself another spreadsheet, blah, 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 and to them, that's more stuff, I need less stuff. Sometimes we're guilty of that as managers. That's advice given. Advice is only true for the person giving it. So from your model of the world, you pretend you're them, and say, this is how I would solve it. When really they're offering you how they would solve it. So I like to get 3. And the last one is will. It's basically their desire to achieve it, or their motivation. So out of those 3 options, which one will you do? Well, I'm just not going to eat peanut M&Ms at night. I'm going to get a good night's sleep. It's actually not about time management at all. Everything else will fall into place. Then you can have an extra one. If you're a bit cheeky, you can just say when. That's great. I agree with that. So when? I'm going to start tonight. Awesome. So the GROW model is a great model to have. Normally the biggest challenge is to get away from offering advice. But the power of being coached through something is phenomenal, and it can be done massively conversationally. So we could go to the water machine, someone would just come up to you and say, oh, I'm just not hitting my targets. Oh, what's the reality of that? Oh, this month I just had a little bit of illness, I've not got out there, I'm not getting the leads I need. Oh, I understand that. So can you think of 3 more ways, at least 3 ways where you could get more leads? Oh, well, I can approach marketing, I could turn up a little bit better dressed, I could look more professional. So out of those 3, which one's most likely? Which one will you do? I can't blame anyone else really, can I? Just sort my own house out, I'm bound to get more leads. Okay, when will you do that? I'll do that. Do it now. Great, pass me the water. Just a little coaching conversation you can have, hugely powerful. Guys, that's our 3 models, my 40-minute promise. Almost to the minute. Any questions on what we've covered? So we've had the wheel of life, they all kind of sit together. And we've got a SMART goal with a couple of tweaks, and we've got a quick coaching conversation.
I just wonder if I was these guys and myself, what sort of barriers there might be that I'm thinking in my mind that may prevent me from actually achieving what I've set out to achieve.
in the goal, you mean?
Yeah, like, I'm sure these guys have all got a goal, but at some point there's probably been a little voice in the back of their head saying, I've written it down, but I've still got to get at least 50 pictures a week. So how do I still do that and achieve the goal?
I was talking about that yesterday. I think that's it's not about people doing well and not doing well. I think it has a lot to do with the wrong conversation they're having in their head, and the sort of fear and the doubt and looking for reasons why they can't achieve that. Whereas you're surrounded by lots of people who are doing it, so if they can do it, so can you. So I think that is a great point, being aware of that, and it's really your beliefs, isn't it? And really seeing if their beliefs are the real. Where did you hear them? Who told you? You know, because sometimes I tell my mum I'm going to sales, oh that's a hard job. So right, if I listen to her, it's hard for her, she can't do it. But then I go, if I don't believe that, I believe in myself, go out and do it, then my reality is different, so it's my perception that's very different. So I think it's a lot to do with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great thing to do. Limiting beliefs always questions your beliefs. Because it's quite ironic that where do these beliefs even come from? Most of them we get handed to like a big custard pie, bash. And we have no reality, we have no point of reference. It's like Chris said, his mum's handed him that belief. If he chooses to believe that, he wouldn't be sat where he is now. And sometimes from that to positive thinking is too much, too huge of a leap. So if there's a little bit in the middle, like a purgatory called suspend your disbelief, just give it a go. Gather your own evidence. Give it a go. What if? Big question, what if? See, I think most of us have an inner critic, a little, but that's actually there, that's there to keep you safe, that's got a positive intent. It's saying we're all right where we are. Don't go out there, it could be a bit scary, but out there is where the magic happens, that's what you want. And this little inner, I think we've all achieved goals, haven't we? And probably the inner critic spoke about where you are now, saying you probably can't do that. I should look at you now. And it'll be no different to your goals for tomorrow.
So just on that one, Paul, you know, like if I'm looking to achieve something and I think it's unrealistic or unachievable because of my capabilities at this point in time, I look back on things that I've done in the past and think I thought exactly the same then, but I actually managed to get my head around it and achieve it. But what if you've never achieved, you've always been unsuccessful, and then you set yourself a target? So you can't draw any past successes, so what could you do then to then take that leap of faith, which is what we're talking about, and go on and achieve the goals?
As a coach, it will certainly challenge your belief around never being successful, or anyone's, because you're sat in front of me today. So by the very nature, you have got a lifetime of success to be sat in front of me. Successful parent, successful at your sport, successful at a lot of things. You know how to be a success in this little one thing you're unsure of at the minute.
We wrote well there, Paul, and I'm looking at the words beside it, desire and motivation. And I know you kind of put them on the one thing there, but I think they're two very different things, because I think a lot of us do have the desire to be better, but maybe the motivation isn't there. What would you say on that?
In my experience, it's nearly always motivation. And just finding the motivation.
Yeah, in a lot of our capacities, sometimes if you have a bad week, it's a bad week, and then you go and you have another bad week, it's another bad week. And the desire is always there still to be better, but when you go down and down, the motivation gets less and less. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's like the desire never leaves you to be the best, because that's what makes us who we are. But the motivation to be the best can get less as you're drowning, basically, and that's sometimes what happens to people. So I'm just interested in what your feedback on that is.
And some of that is what Graham just offered. So think back to the week where you did absolutely nail it, and take on the physiology and thought pattern of that. And a lot of it's the old, grandmothers are very wise people. You walk around with your shoulders hunched and thinking I'm having a bad week. Sometimes the way in is just to stand up, put on your big boy pants, draw your shoulders back, take on the physiology of success. A little bit of fake it till you make it, and then you start to make it. We get caught in the rat trap sometimes.
I think we would benefit from like a whole learning lunchtime on that, about getting yourself back up there. because I do think everybody in here does have that desire, but I think just sometimes you lose it when it's continuous, and it's easy to go down, it's harder to get back up. So I think we would really benefit from
Motivation.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but we're here to develop, and I have to be honest and real and say that I think that is something that we would, I don't know, maybe we should ask everybody else, maybe I'll talk for myself here, but I do think we would.
I think that's the reality now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've always got that constant pressure to achieve 50 or 75 or 100.
It happens once or twice, it's easy to bounce back up and go, right, okay, I'll do it, and then it happens a couple of times, it's like trying to get back up, so.
And sometimes it's as easy as giving yourself a big chuck up. I come from the Navy, used to say that. Just having a piece of paper and asking yourself, when I'm great, I list everything that makes you great. When you've had that great week, what was in place? I'd slept well, I trained 3 times that week, my food was better. I walked around, I was a little bit cocky, I nailed it. And when your head's in the doldrums, you're going to find all those resources you've got. Actually, doing none of them. Do none of them. Let's do some of them. Let's chip in here.
Sometimes it is just these small changes, isn't it? And it's the idea of you keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. So if you're getting good results, keep doing what you're doing. If you're not getting good results, then what then need to change, isn't it? And I think what you say, see that, just that one thing, lifting your physiology every day, every morning you get up, you look in the mirror, you lift yourself and do that. That's life changing really if you do it every day.
Absolutely.
Because it becomes practice and it becomes who you are, and you do that every day rather than another day. This is murder. If you do that every day and practice it, then it just sort of becomes what you do, and who you are and how you feel.
Absolutely. So what Chris is talking about is a state. So our physiology follows our state. Really. Motivation is a state, as it's boredom, as it's being down in the doldrums. So when we operate our state consciously, put yourself in a motivated state, physiology, a state becomes a trait. And after a while we don't do the conscious stuff anymore, that becomes who we are. You actually rewiring parts in your brain, put you in an fMRI, which is a big posh brain scanner. Your demotivated bit won't be there anymore like a train track. And more every day, light up your train track for motivation. To the point where we don't need to do that bit anymore. Darwin would love it. He'd say this is the most important time in human evolution because we have the opportunity to change our own evolution. We have a part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. What we hold there, the rest of the brain follows suit. And I know some of you have done the inner chimp stuff. So when we're in our prefrontal cortex, this is what I'm going to be, the rest will follow suit. So if you use your brain to change your mind, to change your brain, you actually have a choice. Sorry.
Saying it just depends who you're feeding, the bad or the good, isn't it? And yeah, I think we all know what motivates us in the mornings and stuff like that, but it's just doing it at times, isn't it? Having the mind to, sometimes we can kind of be bothered or...
Keeps us going. It's similar to like if you put into another food, like if you're watching your food, for example, if you're dieting, if you're eating healthy or whatever, your first 4 weeks might be fantastic and your eating's fantastic, and then gradually it gets slowly worse, and that can be the same with your work, your motivation's sky high, you're training, you're doing what you need to do, and before you know it, you're looking at yourself 3 months down the line, you think, where did I go wrong there? Where did I stop that? Or why am I now struggling when before eating 5 times a day is not a problem, but 6 weeks down the line it's you want pizza every day, 3 times a day.
And we do have hiccups, and then it's getting back on the horse as soon as possible, and having some empathy with yourself as well.
Do you believe, Paul, just as Gina was saying there, do you believe that we've all got that in us, or do you believe that we need tools and we need to be taught how to do it, or do you believe it's all there anyway, or do you believe that it's through developing yourself that you get it more?
I believe it's all in there. Everyone has got it, and there's some great tools to make it quicker and easier. But you have it, you all have it. And again, on that, it can seem like a heck of a lot. But there will be that one thing, that 20% that makes all the difference. When I'm great, I'm X, that one thing. I turn up my tunes, I have a good breakfast, and the rest follows. If I miss that out, kind of.
Well, one thing with motivation then, and negativity plays a big part in being demotivated. So how do you turn around negativity? Well, say you're a team of 12 and everyone's being negative, and that can